damage. Some of the walls are, yeah, the ice dams, which caused the water to losing the fraction top floor right above where we're standing. So these are strategically placed where there's actual roof damage. That's smart. You obviously can't get up there to see it like that. You're like, oh,
exterior walls.
yeah, so the exterior walls, a lot of the corners around the building on the inside have ice dams. We would get them every winter. You know, they go from this area to the floor.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Please feel free to step in.
Yeah, come on in.
Contractor facilities here for Bridgewater, Maine. So, as you know, you guys are voting for a facility or a feasibility study. And basically, it's going to talk about a few things: a repair, a renovation, or rebuild. Otherwise, the options are to do nothing. One of the things that we were forced to kind of do here at the district is to best prevent. We wanted to ensure the proper heating during the winter, so we were forced to kind of strip down all the siding, and we needed to add on additional insulation up top. So repair, it would fix that. It would fix the top of the roofs, the actual structures within it that you can see when you walk throughout. But it may not necessarily hit the tiles. It will just keep the remaining 3 walls. But that's where, again, the difference between a repair, a renovation, or otherwise a rebuild would just be something completely different. So again, without that feasibility study, everything just kind of stays neutral. So,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Thanks. Any questions or? Good? No, I don't. Yeah. I just figured, you know, we keep the curiosity factor too. I know, I had to think about the roof for a minute.
I think that's what he said, staying on the
We're
second
staying
floor
up,
to
but
go to
then we're going
central.
down.
Yeah.
So Central House is gutted. There aren't any, there are some walls upstairs, but the downstairs was flooded shortly after the partial roof collapse. So that's where we're going right now, to the classroom that has the partial roof collapse, which is right up here on the left. We'll come around the corner. That's what we all said. Hi there. As you can see, this is pretty gutted and
Yeah,
bare in
Central
Central House. The most damage was here. We
This
can
is
walk in.
actually where the roof caved in. Come on in.
Ooh, yeah, photo. Yeah, so this was the art room at one point, and it was this corner where the roof collapsed, and where the most damage was. And then they had to build this wall for us to support it, because this was not here in the middle of the classroom before.
You're gonna see as you go through all the rooms, the outer walls, because of the ice dams, had water coming in, so they had to all be ripped out to the bare studs. We had to have the building shuttered, so we had to put in new insulation and get it so that, you know, it would be winter ready. It would be tight, so that we could keep heat in and keep any other pipes from freezing. And you can see here in this placard, you're gonna see these throughout the building. Right above us here is an example of some of the workmanship, or lack thereof. We have a truss roof. That should be all one piece, and as you can see, this beam is coming right through it. They cut through the truss, compromising the integrity of that truss so that it could do its job and weakening it. That's right above us here.
She moves.
Good point to always stay close to the outer edges.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
take
this
down
was
all of
flooded,
the
so you can see the
blockers.
yeah, so we had to cut the sheetrock because of the flooding, and you didn't want to cause mold. You had to cut it all out. The pipe burst and flooded from this floor right downstairs. So downstairs in Central House is completely empty. Gutted. You just see the braces.
Okay, and again, you'll see all the flooring out in all this area. Again, here's another brace that's not been properly put in. It should be straight here, and it's starting to bow. A truss roof is kind of like a skeleton, you know, your backbone.
Oh, yeah.
And all the discs have to be aligned. Well, all the trusses support one another in the weight, so when one goes, it's like a domino effect to the others. Again, outer wall and floor damage. Truss being not continuous, so whatever this was doing as far as weight load and whatnot, the pipe is coming through, so they just cut it. They want to put that pipe through. That's right above us.
Poor craftsmanship. Yeah. That's the least. Talk about cutting corners.
And there's a fractured web member, which obviously weakens the truss from supporting part of the roof that it needs. Now we're going downstairs of Central House, and when the flood happened shortly after the roof collapse, the computer labs are all down here, and Mr. Swenson and company were trying to save as much equipment as possible. And that's why you see Central House has no walls and just beams and frames. We had a lot of our computers labs downstairs. As you can see, some of the equipment is still there. A lot of stuff is storage or damaged furniture from the water. This is Mr. Mike Bennett, Technology Director. We also have base classrooms down here as well. So we were just upstairs. As you can see, to go from South House to Central House, you can only go upstairs. But to go from South House to North House, you have to travel downstairs. So you can't get to both ends of the building from top and bottom. The design wasn't that great either. This is the back of the building, where all the buses come around the back. The cafeterias are back there. We're going to come around to the gymnasium. Hello, Mr. Swenson.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Hello, how are you?
Hi,
Come on in.
I'm Derek Swenson, superintendent. All right, come on in.
We're headed to the gym.
This is the gymnasium, AKA
Storage.
our storage. So I want you to think of this, and the reason why we show this visual, because it's important. Think about if you're a retiree, you had this big 10-room home, and now you've downsized to a 5-room home or condominium. You had a lot of stuff. And this is what's happening now, is because what we had to do in order to make room at the Rainham Middle School for our preschoolers, this is all pretty much middle school furniture, equipment. Also, we had to take all of the middle school furniture out of what is currently now the Mitchell at the Middle. We displaced those students. The 8th graders went to the high school that already had furniture, and the 7th graders went to the Williams that already had furniture. So now you have the surplus of things. So we needed to, utilize this. So I think this really gives you a visual of the type of crunch we are in terms of space availability. And this grows constantly because there are things that come up where we have a new teacher that is hired and we have to create a space for that new teacher. We have to take things such as workrooms away, pull out classrooms for special education, and we've had to convert those into classroom spaces. So again, we try to bring that down here. Also, if you look here, I know you've seen some of the visuals. We have same issues in the gymnasium that we have throughout. We have low quality grade materials being used for trusses. We have drag trusses, and some trusses that are not fully supported. So, you can see these are pretty high ceilings as well, so we have some concerns with that. In this area as well, last winter, we had a pipe burst, and it burst in here, and it created water damage to the gymnasium floor. So that's why you see now how we have the outside envelope of the entire building with batt insulation, because we have to shutter and protect it, because we don't want to have any further damage while it sits dormant. You know, hopefully the feasibility study goes through, and it's a construction phase, we're still looking at 2021 before anything's complete. So we have to make sure that we are preserving the building as it currently is, so that further damage doesn't result in a further price tag to the town. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
All right, we can continue. Thank you.
Right? Enjoy as much as I do.
As you see, half the building is built into the ground. We're below the ground level here. And the corners of these rooms would have ice dams all the time. They would jam up from the ceiling, the roof, all the way down to the ground. We'd always have ice dams and blockages. And sometimes you can even feel this floor has a little wave to it. You can feel the divot there. You can see it right here grading down.
Yeah, yeah.
This is where a lot of the underground part where the moisture and molds.
So there
concerns are
wasn't,
too,
my
or-
understanding is that we had it tested, there wasn't any mold found,
Right.
but it's the water,
Yeah.
and the condensation in the wall that was trapped, because when they built the wall, I think the mortar blocked the drainage between the walls and the brick. And so the evaporation barrier, you know, that evaporation barrier, I don't know what you call it, you might want to talk to the, no, I think it's the vapor barrier. Vapor barrier, thank you. The condensation doesn't have anywhere to go, so it's trapped, so there's a lot of moisture. And this is Mr. Powers.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Good, thanks for coming out tonight. So you're gonna see in North House, very similar to what you saw in South House. The exterior walls are down to the studs, again, because of the water damage on the outside. You will see some more pictures in this hallway, and again, just like in the other houses, this is really what's above you. And this damage, I'm sure they've explained to you already, really when they did the study, they really don't think it's any relation to the snow load. They feel as though this was just poor craftsmanship when they were building the building to start. So you're going to see things like this, again, support braces cracked, and some of the photos are actually missing. You've probably seen that. So it's, these things are still above us right now. So that's really the concerning piece. We obviously need to get this fixed. So we can kind of walk along, but like I said, as you look into the classrooms, you're going to see things very similar to what you've seen, especially in the South House, where the outside walls are down to the studs. And again, some of it was due to damage on the outside due to ice dams and such, and some of it was just to go ahead and better insulate it for the winter, because we didn't want to have any other additional problems where pipes were breaking or anything like that.
Recognize a lot of names
Yes,
on these lockers.
Some of these outside
I know,
classrooms
looks
had
like
water
too.
damage.
Like, she's on here somewhere.
Along the walls. When we came in after the snow, the collapse, a lot of the books that we're trying to retrieve for the classroom teachers, the shelves had all water in them. So the water was leaking in on the outside walls, coming in from the ice dams. So we were just trying to retrieve as many teacher materials and student materials as possible that week.
Does anybody have any questions as we're walking that you can think of? Things in Brockton, how things are good?
Things are good.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, besides the 60.
Yeah, exactly.
Deficit.
So you can see there, again, that's just, they really felt as though that they didn't use quality grade lumber in a lot of the places, and so just over time, that wood ended up becoming compromised and splitting in different areas. Same thing here, you can see, I mean, this is again supposed to be supporting these trusses, and it's you know, split right there in the middle. And you'll see it's really like time stood still. I mean, you look into some of these rooms and offices, and it's back to February. I mean, it really is everything. You know, you still see the decorations up for the holidays or coming up for Valentine's Day in the winter, and it really was. I mean, Heidi can tell you, it was just get out as, you know, quick as we can and retrieve whatever we could. But unfortunately, a lot of things got left as they were. You know, so you go through the room, you'll see the date written on the board and kind of the daily agenda, and it really is. It's
Time.
kind of, yeah.
Time
It
stood
really
still.
is like time
Eerie.
stood still. It is. It's definitely eerie. Yeah. So, but we appreciate you coming out. Obviously, any questions you have, Mr. Swenson's going to have another informational night on Thursday.